Aight. Hey guys. On my big screen. Oh my gosh, I'm so big. My headphones are on the floor. My dick is out, ready to give feedback. That's actually the source of all great feedback. But let's hear some tracks. Buckets with the fastest fingers of all time. Hey guys, all the real ones are here. I have not encountered a single fake one yet. It sounds how it should sound, which is perfect. Just super clean. It sounds great. I don't want to talk over it. That hurts me. Marvelous. Like, the only thing negative I can think of is that hurt my ears a little. Like, the little shaker of all things. And I felt like my attention dwindled a little as I just saw it was repeating towards the end. But beyond that, it's really good. I love how it's mixed. Like, it has a lot of patty background details that sit in the background, you know, and leaves a lot of room to feel the texture from those main elements. Another picky thing is I don't know if I like this much like 10K white noisiness. Could maybe just get it hitting a little smoother overall. Yeah, and I love the sound design and tension in these breaks. Honestly, almost more than the drops. It's just so clean and very subtly suspenseful, which is exactly how you want to be, generally speaking. Okay. He keeps leveling up. He really does. I have something else to say. For whatever reason, I feel like it sounds a little flatter. I feel like there's these lovely dynamics the whole time, but it sounds a little flatter towards this part. And part of that might be just like, I'm just hearing the sub, like the sub be so sustained, little bends or little like envelopes. That can also be something to switch up the second drop, so I don't dwindle and rot, fade away. Oh. Flow. Okay. I'm gonna say just more arrangement, more structure on it. You know, like I like the main flow. I like what you have going on. But when it continues to go on, like I have it all the time, I can't appreciate it. It's like when your nose is stuffy. When your nose is stuffy, you're like, damn, I was breathing fresh air this whole time. I didn't appreciate it, you know? But sometimes you gotta stuff up their noses so they appreciate the fresh air, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just the whole main bass has some fucky stereo stuff to look at. Just a little cleaner width, cleaner post. Yeah, just give it structure. Like for something like this, that's just like flowy and slappy, like you could do some pretty cookie cutter, just atmospheric intro, riser build, you know, repeat twice. And if you're lucky, you'll add musical content there instead of just like the cookie cutter, but at least do that to start with. I'm already upset upon hearing a trap snare. This is like the sneeze snare. It's like choo, choo, choo. Speaking of stuffy noses.
This.
So I'm gonna say already, I liked what we had going on. I did, but the arrangement felt a little over the place. Like it gave me like 3 different vibes from the intro to like what went on. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, we're on one of these. But then this melody is like, no, we're one of these. And then the drop is like, no, it's actually this. And that's 3 things for me to keep track of. I have short-term memory loss. It's not going to happen.
That's nice. Yeah.
And just generally, I want a little more present sub. It almost sounds like the sub's too low, or there's no harmonics, which I would like. And just a little cleaner post-process and width on the main bass.
Check this.
That's nice.
Yeah, and there's a little variations, but not enough to keep me super engaged with it.
Check this.
Yeah, and just think the FX a little loud to the basses.
Check this.
Look, I can mix in so seamlessly. I just click play. Oh, literally seamless. That's what they need. They need like a SoundCloud, like built-in mixer thing. So I just mix between feedback tracks. That'd be great. Would definitely want a little more adding on every 4-8 bars. So it's the main flaw is repetition. And the thing is, like, it's not super repetitive relative to a lot of music in this style, even. But it's the fact it has no vocals, you know, which, like, provides a little too much transparency onto the fact we're looping the same progression for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You know what I mean? And having the vocals is able to make that not as clear. And the other thing is, like, I feel like if you're not gonna have vocals, I think your lead is I don't know. I mess with lead because I feel like in instrumental music a lot of time feels like it just needs vocals or something. You know, even if it's a beautiful masterpiece, you're like, it ain't got vocals though. I think what helps with that is just having an arrangement that vocals can't possibly follow or can't possibly improve upon, you know? And it might be as simple as just having a complex lead melody that's a little more rhythmic. I think just having like a rhythmic lead is key, like distinctly rhythmic, okay? But that's a long talk and I didn't say a lot, so. And it's all stereo on the guitar. I want a little like mid as well, a mono. And you managed to create some like dynamics through, you know, this big drop moment where you're chugging harder and other stuff, and this kind of lower, more subdued. But like, where's the third dynamic? Where's the fourth dynamic? Where's all these gradients between? You know, you kind of have like low and up. You know, I think what could make it a lot more interesting is if you have even more variety in that. And I feel like the guitar could have been recorded maybe a little cleaner, processed. Don't quote me. Fret noises sound hella loud. And the same kind of deal, like in terms of arrangement, like I talked about the dynamics, but also like the fact, oh, we have hat the whole time. You know. I don't know, make it sing. Another thing is like to have a lead that has some type of like formanty vocal quality to it. Like that kind of modulation and expressiveness. You know, almost like a saxophone or something. You know, because if you have something like that, that's singing but not a human voice, you can, it sounds right.
The second guess is dangerous. Tell it like it is. My kids should not know language. That shit is toxic. And it's not just what I say. It's the tone you put it in. The silence can be draining. The silence can be painful. The silence can be bliss. But still it works the same.
So I'm thinking, I think the vibes are okay. I'm hearing the vocal sounds too loud over everything, and the processing just sounds like a little like radio, like clippy
language.
There's just a lot of like this high formant.
That shit is
just this bright tone kind of rubbing me. Another thing, like you have this pretty harmonic melodic progression here, and then you bring in the bass. I would tune this harmonic to be something like the fifth or the octave, or just something more consonant, because it ends up just sounding like a little flat or something, the harmonic on the bass. See, it sounds right down here, but up here it sounds like
I'm sorry, I'm excited. I get cheated if I play. Whatever that you lose or you gain or you make, you're the moon that controls the waves. You're like summer rocks, never have to change. Carried by the wind, it's a beautiful thing not to have an age.
yeah, I like it. I just think, yeah, vocals a little loud and crispy, like a little too crisp, maybe. And I think the drums are also coming across a little loud. I'm not feeling what's beneath them as much.
Whatever that you lose or you gain or you make, you're the moon that controls the waves. You're like summer rocks, never have to change.
Yeah, and there's just a bunch of layers. I'm not always sure which I want to focus on as a listener.
Silence can be painful, but silence can be toxic.
And a lot of just like kind of white, noisy, high-end stuff,
Can be bliss.
which can kind of get in the way of feeling the full texture of things, in my opinion. It's hitting though. That's what you have to know.
But still in every what?
And just like mix wise, I don't know, like arrangement wise, it sounds like the instrumental parts, like you're taking out the vocal to have an instrumental part ride. I feel like there's not a lot of preparation for it. Like you could make more of a moment out of it, more of a drop, I guess. And also, they just seem shy. They just seem shy in the mix and execution. When I feel like that's what's gonna really characterize the track, you know. I think I've said this before. It's almost like you have the rhythms almost too consistent. Like
Just one touch.
there's not a moment you don't have this like brightness in the background, and very few that you don't have hats going. You know, which can make it come across flat sometimes. All right. See, what I'm really enjoying is this like atmosphere sample. Hey. I love that bass movement. It's definitely started to feel a little repetitive at this point, but it's always hyper clean as usual. And I like that you're pushing more textures in, because I feel like it's easy in this style just to sine wave everything. And while that has its appeal, we can get some sparkles in there too. And another thing, like, I'll take extra care, like, just don't make stuff sound like decorative, you know, like just every bar having a new sound effect, sound design thing hitting, you know. It can sound just like sparkly, like we just gotta add a little, like, it sounds like ear candy or whatever, you know, not necessarily like a musical element, you know. And I mean, that's weird and arguable, but you get what I mean. Yeah, and the other thing is, like, the main focus is generally like these siney leads, you know? But like the guy said, metallic sound design could have its own section, you know? So you could just take every sound and let it have its own solo, you know? Almost like, think like a band. You know, you have one section, the violin might go off, another section, like the trumpet might go off, the drums might go off, you know? Yeah. It's hitting, but I think essentially it's pulled the same trick on us 3 times now. I mean, it could be the subgliding, it could be anything. You know, just switch something up. If it's the same subgliding every time it comes back, it's not as interesting. You know, you want a motif, but the purpose of having a repeated motif, you know, a repeated main idea of the track, I mean, it's so it has an identity, right? But it's also so that's your basis, you know, and if you manage to create something new and tie it in or base it off of your original thing, it's all going to piece together, you know? So, like, that subglide effect, you can bring it in a completely different context. You know, it might be super heavy drop and you have boo, and people are going to hear, oh, that's my guy. It's like having characters in your show, you know, characters in your screenplay, you know, recurring characters, and you want to put them in different sections. You know, if it's the same characters in the same exact environment, nobody wants to watch that unless you're like 40 plus and like out of your mind watching sitcoms for some reason. No, that's not true, because that's the whole thing of a sitcom. But they're in different wacky situations, okay? I'm already upset at this. Yeah, grain delay stuff would go hard on swaps. Okay. So the drop was clean. Definitely coming across on the squash side. That's the biggest thing to address. Don't squash him this hard. Be nice to him. He's fragile. Yeah, and where it really is an issue is when you hear like the kick hitting, you just hear like clip sound. Yeah, and in terms of build-ups, you know what I say on every track ever. It's drums are your last resort for attention. You know, it's the most cliche and most worn out type of way to set up a drop, I feel. That's just facts at this point. And it's especially like, I'm fine with drums with like a big build-up, like you're getting hyped, there's risers and stuff, but if you're just taking the exact same arrangement and putting drums on it, like, we want to rage to it. That is not inciting my rage and fervor. So I may please the gods. Yeah, and just squashed here. Drums are loud in general. The hats, you know. Yes, overly compressed.
Watch your head bust.
What's up? Yeah, I feel like just more arrangement wise, it's too one notey for me to like. And I feel like the benefit of doing one notey is you would go more complex on the flows or more complex on the sound design, have more interactions between different sounds, but that was not the case. You know, like if you're having a pretty straight non-harmonic sound, you know, that's an excuse to bend it around a little. See, get some fifths, get some octaves, some minor thirds, some seconds, you know, or the half step thing. It's that type of stuff in terms of writing, but subjective. Literally, the mid-journey epidemic is in full force. Trip. That's crazy. That was nice. The texture, mellow vibes, always on point. Spaceship living room. Accurate and goes hard. I would say snare a little loud because I feel like this is a very like EP beat, like very mellowed, very chill. And I am being awoken out of my trance every bar by like that. And I quote, but no, it could be worse. It's just a little quieter for me. I mean, like, it's a testament that you're able to make it hit without doing... You think it's a limiter? I just think it's too loud. Just turn it down. It's a testament that it's still able to hit despite, you know, just being like guitar loop, percussion, and root note. You know? So imagine if we get that sub bending around, following some chords. You know, kind of outlined by the guitar. And imagine a world with no... like a little more clear harmonic progression on the guitar, maybe a melody, maybe stuff like that. Maybe a little more supporting elements besides the main woo woo woo, you know? Or maybe we can have that phrase a little more. Or maybe it not being phrased is the trippiness of it, you know? All that. You know, and that's the other thing. Everyone's saying, like, ooh, spaceship vibes. So think, like, if this is spaceship vibes, what would I add to it to support said spaceship vibe? I feel like that's a creative way to add more elements under the guise of a theme. You know, it fits a theme, so they'll all work. The roads. Man, hit the road with that. Nice. Oh, damn. That sounds crazy. What? Yeah. All right, I was especially tickled by that track. I feel like this is one of the Digby's best, because I feel like he's been trying to get at this sound for a while, but it hasn't hit like it did today. You know what I mean? What I would say though, I still think we could benefit from a little more traditional structure, probably. Yeah, I do say it to all the girls. How'd you know? I hit it. Just a little more traditional structure, you know, just like in and out stuff. And The guitar, I feel like the guitar recording or like just processing could be a little higher fidelity. Just sounds very like straight out the box. This part's kind of crazy. Yeah, and I like how you have this bass sound design, but it's special. Like each and every one of us in the eyes of God. Amen. No. You're the bass sound design, but you're like modulating it to be expressive, to make it an instrument rather than just one shot, you know what I mean? I think that's really key in making cooler music, honestly. I skipped your ting. I didn't. Per usual, I didn't. No, I like the. I don't know. That was just catchy to me. Makes you want to say it. Left field dish. Drums. I can say with confidence, drums aren't cutting it for me. They're very dull and must go under the stone. And like the wetness, I say this a lot. Like if you have one thing with super wet reverb and the rest is dry as a bone, it just comes off a little weird. It just sounds like something isn't right, because naturally, that's not how something would sound. You know, maybe have just like slightly smaller, roomy reverb bus on the other stuff. You know, and really like for structure, like structure isn't crazy. It's not. The more you know. No, really, like all it takes to structure a song is you have your main idea, right? Your first idea that's you're like, oh, this gotta be the drop or whatever, right? All you have to do is come up with essentially like one other idea. You know what I mean? Like, so instead of hoo hoo hoo, you just have a different vocal chop phrase, or you have another instrument kind of take the lead. You know what I mean? Like if I'm on keyboard, all I need is like one melody, and then I would add another melody. Here we go. There it is, theme. There it is. You get what I mean? So just think of another phrase using those vocal chops. That sounds crazy. You sound crazy. You've never spoken a lick of sense in your life. Please get help. This is the pre-drop. This is like the pre-drop speech they put. This is crazy. I don't know how there's 3 minutes and 43 seconds of this though. Be able to comprehend. Ah. 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 You get this. Alright. Yeah, that was crazy as fuck. Highlight of the night. Not even of the night, of the thieves generally. Flow and just the way you keep varying the sound design is just insane. And the sound design is just fucked. It's like distorted with the reverb tail. It just sounds so mean and terrible in the perfect way. One thing that bothers me about this is just like, I don't know what the hi-hat's been doing, because they're juiced the fuck up and assaulting me. Yeah, the hi-hats just be hurting me secretly. Yeah, and just a lot of like high-end scree. Just gotta watch that. And you know, some stuff sounds super clean. Like here, that sounds super crisp. But there's just moments that sound design just doesn't sound as clean. And it doesn't sound on purpose. It's not like, ooh, it's filthy and fucked up. You know, I'm like, oh, it's not reaching its full fidelity. But that just takes time messing with the post-processing. Yeah. Not sure how much a fan I am of this part, because it's just like a little high energy for what's going on. I just don't find the beat super engaging compared to all the crazy shit going on here. It's a little dense for what it's trying to do, I feel. That's crazy as hell, though. He's crazy for that. Alright, normalize adding velocity to our pianos. Like, do not keep it at 127. Do not whatever. At least randomize it. That's cool. One weird thing. I felt like this. I thought it was like it already dropped, but then it was like more was about to cut into the drop, which already would have been weird. But actually, it was just a little like sound effect hit, which it just felt weirdly placed. I had mixed signals coming across. So yeah, velocity on piano, or make it sound more MIDI-y. Like just chop off the release on it, you know? It's just in this weird in-between state that makes it sound amateurish. Oh my gosh, the real spoon has a track. And this is just me, like, I'm glad you used the horn in a creative way, but I've heard too many horns and bass music in my lifetime. But this gets the pass, the horn pass. And I mean, like, you can have the sub and the percussion supporting the phrase a little more, I feel. And just kind of place things a little more sensically. And maybe, like, in terms of, like, the motif, you can kind of make it clear, like, ba-da-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You know, those are kind of tied together. You can make that clear in the arrangement. You know, or you can even put them next to each other as a cool treat. I like this sound. Weird note. This was cool. I feel like I like how the arrangement like goes different places, but be careful. Yeah, and intro was a hair too long, or it just got slightly boring for how long it was. Very slight though. I feel like it just needs like one more element or just slightly more interesting melody or something to keep engaged. And it feels like, you know, you have these cool distinct sections, which you kind of put onto each other, but I feel like the transitions between them are pretty minimal. I feel like there's entire sections, you could put a section between the section in which like those sounds kind of vibe or pass off, you know? Rather than, like, it comes across, but I feel like there's potential for more musicality stuff. And I wasn't very interested in this part. It wasn't until like this kind of pulsating sound came in I was interested. Yeah. And the thing is, like, the melodies are just kind of like noodling, you know, when I feel like you can praise them, direct them, repeat them a little more to take it from just like kind of decorative noodles to like something you can really get into and be like, oh shit, that melody slaps, you know. That's what we want out of every piece. One more drum swank.
The big thing is the suppression of extremely advanced technology and the suppression of unknown science. That's it. Those two things, to me, is the only thing that's important about what was going on out there. Yeah, there's another civilization, and like I've said before, that's a crime not to tell humanity about that, but that's a separate thing.
Damn. 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 Got it. It's just crazy. Someone made bass music that actually like does something interesting with the sub bass. I don't know if this has ever been done before.
That is really the pinnacle. Dramatically. There's a lot to deal with that.
Yeah, I'll look for a little.
However, the science and the technology can change us dramatically. So those stick out in my mind as being critically important. You don't have to believe it, but we do.
I felt like this drop is a little less interesting than the first, but it grew on me. I don't know why. I noticed like a bunch of the guys that make deep dub on here, they end up picking these samples that sound like they have like 20 years of MP3 compression on them. Don't do that.
It's a separate.
And yeah, but I feel like percussion a little loud. They could just sit a little more flush, give that melody and sub a little more room to breathe. I really like just the bouncy, mischievous string melody. Got me creeping, tiptoeing in the night.
Dramatically.
I feel like I don't always want the snare that makes me blink if I'm like trying to go deep. New era dub flip. Alright, where are we going? We're going to hurt my ear is what. So the trend of the evening is just like top drums that are way too loud, apparently. That's it though. Yeah, it leans on the repetitive side, but you got to be careful with. I'm not saying every song needs to go a million places, although I might say that. But I feel like the more complex phrase you have, the more you can get away with repeating it, you know? So it's pretty much just and we've had that for about 2 minutes now. You know, versus, I don't know if it's this just the original sample. It's like, you know, having a 2-part phrase instead of just 1-part phrase repeated. Or even like can go like up to 4 parts, you know, or just something like that, or I would switch instruments more, you know, and I just prefer if the variations weren't kind of like the background focus, you know, because I noticed you're just kind of adding new stuff and some sounds here and there, but you know, like push it forward, I feel. Yeah, and snare has weird stereo. Like, who taught you guys about Haas effect? Because it wasn't me. I just realized what brick squash means. Yeah, and just the intros and breaks as well. Like when you're talking about the waveform. Yeah, I would say similar criticism. This second drop feels a little more varied, but just like it's almost like a backing track, like the background elements are just like a backing track to like just kind of like noodling with basses. You know, I feel like they aren't really going in, they aren't really pulling the whole arrangement with it. You know, there's not a lot of gravity to them. Vibe is vibe though. And just be careful. Just be careful. Just watch out. Variations is the main thing. And I think like if you've done it once, if you made one interesting part, you can do that a number of times, and then you have multiple interesting parts you can piece together instead of just stretching out one piece. That's what Sugar will tell you. And especially comes off loopy just with all the percussion staying consistent too, you know? I feel like percussion is almost like the most important thing. So like if you're going to take anything out and in to make it varied, it would be the percussion. You know, people feel the beat drop. You know, that's why it's called a beat drop. Who would have thought? Okay, I don't know how far down the Feedback Friday rabbit hole I've gotten for like tight beats to be on here, but sure, I'll listen. There we go. See, that's the thing. If it was a really outstanding type beat, like I wouldn't be able to resist the urge to spit putrid bars. Bars most foul. Okay, I'm gonna assume it about repeats, but let me think about this. Got a lot on my mind. think drums too loud. I think there's not a track I've heard tonight that I haven't had that to say. So maybe I'm just projecting. See, High Def realized he can milk this for content if I freestyle on it. So he's begging in chat for some bars from me. I would maybe say like the rhythms are almost too complex. You know, or yeah. I just feel like every element is doing its own syncopation. Which I feel like makes it a little hard for me to want to spit bars on. If that's your metric of success. You know, the bass going bow, 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 and then ba, 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 and then you know. And I would maybe say what can solve all that is maybe just a little straighter drums. Is poop, cat, poop, cat. You know, just the classic kind of almost 4 on the floor type. Don't quote me though. I'm just shooting whatever. Yeah, and I just feel like I want that main key lead a little more prominent. Perhaps. See, you'll learn in life nothing is certain, not even the Bunting feedback. Maybe even like an octave lower. Could go crazy. No, you're right. Just wait until you send it off for it to sound good.
Over 100,000 families are already destitute, and in most cases, there is no hope whatever.
Okay, so I'm not thrilled. One is it's just coming off a lot quieter than everything. I don't see the appeal. And like mixing to a number. I don't know. I just never do that, and I feel like I don't know. I don't support this lifestyle. But what I can tell is that like I just hear so much psh, that's all I'm getting. And we have too much of that in the world right now. The world needs beauty.
Over 100.
Yeah, I could have more sub. Cleaner post. Like, just the main basses aren't very loud compared to the background stuff as well, even with the volume up.
In most cases, there is no hope whatever.
That's kind of grooves. Like the main groove, like that bass line and the beat goes stanky hard, but I'm not feeling the elements. Just unsure how it wants to be phrased, I feel. Yeah, and so just the fact that, you know, like, it sounds repetitive. It probably repeats as much as any other track. But the fact that the phrase is so simple, it just do makes it more repetitive. Versus if you had a phrase you know, a little more complex rhythm and a kind of part two to the phrase instead of just a, you know. Damn, what the fuck was that? Thousand dB white noise for 0.5 milliseconds.
Over 100,000 families are already destitute. In most cases, there is no hope whatever.
Yeah, sound effect very loud. Yeah, and you hear the sidechain. It sounds like Ableton compressor sidechain in that it's not ducking fully and the release is too long. Yeah, and just get that sound design off. Just it's very much stuck in one note, and it's also stuck in like one bar. You're just like bwah, 1 2 3 4 bwah, 1 2 3 4 bwah. You know what I mean? Get him unstuck. Free him from these shackles. Give upon his soul fervor and grace, so he may soar to the sky, lest he perish among the dirt and earth. Okay. Alright, title's too edgy. Someone's gotta say it. You know what? Buckets too. I'm calling them all. starting to think it's just me, but I think the drums are too snappy on this one. Always a little too loud. And honestly, for something like this, I don't know if you need sidechain. It's kind of our default mode as electronic dance music producers to sidechain everything. But I only think you need it if the pump is really a vibe for the track. You know, you have like or you really need that extra loudness on the kick or the final mix. You know, and I don't think this needs either. I think the pattern's a little complex for the pump to be nice, and it's not super aggressive to need a aggressive kick and loud mix. Or even like give it a longer side chain, lean into the pump if that's what you're going for. I didn't really notice this until the end, but I feel like a little too much compression. Yeah, just drums hot and a little incessant for the vibe. Same with the clap. A clap actually counts in drums, little known fact. And it might be SoundCloud compression, but I might just hear like this OTT-ness over and clippiness over the whole saws. Like clipping on basses, pretty nice, but I feel like you start clipping higher elements and it's not a sound we generally want. But that's the sound Cheeks want. And, you know, give stuff some envelopes. It's just so sustainy, you know? I think a part would be really nice, or just the whole drop to have... I think that those kind of dynamics are really important for a beautiful piece. Cable guy's curve too. What the hell? Yeah, and I get tired of the super soft texture, you know? Give it a little something. In the sounds or in the sauce. Okay, I gotta talk normal. Or just little fills, little something. Shaper box. Shaper box 2. Copycat. This bass is weird. It almost has this like subharmonic throat singing sound. Could be compressed a little, and I just feel like a little clippiness on these bright. That's not very pleasant, you see. In my opinion. Yeah, this part needs craze more. And it's not always like another layer. I would just say like with what you already have, use it in a way you're certain like this is hooky or whatever, or this is interesting. Like you want to use sounds in a way you can think somebody's going to hear it and be like, oh shit, that's nice. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but you know. I feel like the lines here just aren't something that would stand out to me. At least give it riser or more percussion. Where is the sub? The little harmonic vocal guy. I was kind of getting into the phrase a little, although I think it was a little too messy. But then you switch it up. Yeah, it just is always going to sound like it's missing something if you don't have any sub in it, so that would be the first priority. The other thing is, it sounds like a lot of your sounds, and it doesn't even sound bad somehow, but they're just like an octave above, you know, that sub bass range. You know, they're not at the 0, they're at the 1 or the 2. But you still manage to design good sounds, which usually doesn't happen, so that's nice. And I would give this little wow, a little more modulation, so it sounds less flat. And just be a little more direct with your phrases. Like I said, like you want to write something that you know will stand out. You'll hear it and be like, "Oh, that's nice." You know, see how casually you can push it rhythmically. You know, get some pitches. Phrasing. I like, why is there a loud ass cricket? Peace. Okay, I'm already not excited for this. It's sounding like we just grabbed random samples from our browser type beat. No, you're right. That really convinced me, Rio. I'm a changed man. Now there's something to grab onto. Really watch keys. Like, I know people be saying that, but actually, like, nothing will make your music stand out in a crowd more in a negative fashion than stuff being out of key, you know? Like, even people that aren't musical are gonna hear that and be like, this shit whack. You know, even if I can entertain it. And the drop doesn't have much clashing, but the intro definitely did. Sub as well. Yeah, and just bar counts and the structure feels weird. It's like I'm getting into the drop, but then it just kind of goes away with everything else looping. You know, like you can make those more moments. You can switch up more of the arrangement when you have a transition, and you can also make sure it has a nice timing. Yeah, it definitely has gotten repetitive. You know, switch the sounds in your phrase. You know, modulate them more. Keep the phrase the same, or keep the sounds the same, but then switch up the phrase, give it a new phrase. You know, give it a moment of tension. A little hurty. I've been downgraded. From feedback giver to
That will get red hot.
more variations. You know, like it's kind of like gives it like a almost verse chorus effect. But when it comes back to the chorus, give it like a new harmonic or a new sound. I would say too much OTT. It's my main quip, and like too much just phasey notchiness. I would just watch my videos. There's more content there than the Patreon. Yeah, enter definitely.
This match will get red hot.
Yeah, just phrases and sounds are good. Just hot on the mix, clippy, OTT, and just a little lazy on the intro. You know, give the intro its own musical idea. Don't let it just be a shadow of the drop, you know? I think that's an important thing I want to get across to all bass makers. And just structure it, you know, just repeat that break to second drop to outro, you know. Esoteric AF. Esoteric, who the hell cares? He stays using his quiet. Yo, that's a classic sound. That's literally like the mango on a fork meme sound. Identical. This phrase. That's the yodel signature. Oh, we're done. I liked it. It's clear like you've kind of chosen your sound at this point, and it works. Let me say though. Wait 1 sec. Okay. So back here. I think the phrase is interesting enough that it gets away with being repeated as long as it is. feel like the sound, well, it's very unique in that, I've said this before, I think. I'm getting deja vu at this point. In that, it uses a lot of like slow attacks in bass music, which you almost never hear ever. But I feel like it can almost lean too much on that. Like, I kind of get the trick by this point. Another thing, I've just never been a fan of the sound. Like, just that, like, octave saw, detuned saw, Essex tutorial type sound. I never liked it. But that's my problem. And definitely a hair on the chaotic side. You know, we can have a bit of chaos, but I like to see something, you know, more phrased to contrast that. Or it's the fact, like, it's phrased, but it's so drawn out, you know? Just give me something a little straighter, maybe even, like, double time it. You know, not so attacky, always legato, you know? Give it the opposite at points. If you're quirky like me. Or you don't have to be quirky. Just be yourself, man. Also, like, just to say, my feedback isn't real. I made it up. I'm making it all up. No, but just, it doesn't, if I have things to say about the track, it doesn't mean anything is wrong with the track. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Everything you'll ever need. You are everything you'll ever need. You are everything you'll ever need. You are a whole star bright as can be. You are everything you'll ever need.
Need slight melodyne in a few places.
You are beautiful just like the trees.
And there's a lot of S trees piercing me.
You are everything you'll ever need. Maybe it's time to see what else you can be. Well, there has to be a limit. And if that's what you think, try to prove it.
Oh, I didn't mean. Oh my, what the fuck? I didn't mean to do that, but. Okay. Well. What I meant to do is pause it and talk about something, but I forget what that is now.
You're perfect.
So it's little, like, there's just some kind of breaths in the vocals at points that make it feel a little weird. And it sounds a little overcompressed and a little dry just in general vocal.
And everything that's gone wrong drives us to a
like, we don't need the fully washy, reverby vocal, but just having the tiniest amount in the background can make it sit in the mix more.
purpose. It's why I sing my own songs. Yeah, if it's so hard, find the light, just look inside and everything will be alright.
We're wholesome vibe.
'Cause you are everything you'll ever need.
mixing. Wow. Wow. Look up. You're deranged. You're deranged. Stop.
You'll ever
Stop.
need.
Help. Help.
Beautiful just like the trees. Everything you'll ever need. You are a whole star bright as can be. You are everything you'll ever need. You are everything you'll ever need. You are everything you'll ever need. You are a whole star bright as can be.
See, I don't know if you use this rhyme in the track, but like, bright as can be, like galaxy, that could be a rhyme, okay? You probably fucking said that, but like, my thing with like tracks that are this long is I feel like we could do better. No, like, it's fine to make long tracks, and it's fine to have a really long speech. But usually you want to say the most with the least possible. That's the most efficient exchange of energy. So for you long trackers, you long meat whackers, take note. It's kind of earned it though. And it's just very like black whites, you know. I felt like it would have hit even harder to have these kind of switch off each other on like a faster pace. And really, like, if you're gonna do vocals on it, do not skimp. Like, it's already enough just being an untrained vocalist, like doing stuff on your tracks, right? That's already enough of a liability. So you better make sure the execution and the mixing of the vocal and effects on it are like utterly perfect to really get away with it. Okay. He thought he got 2 submissions. That's funny. No, but really, like, go as deep as you would in sound design as you do, like, go as deep as you would on sound design as on a vocal or an instrument or MIDI even, or a rhythm, you know. Just don't let anything left unturned.
On the head back there.
I like this pick.
What if everyone shares those ancient memories?
Okay, we cannot allow like dubbed anime intros like over rhythm. like as a society.
Mistakes in the progression. Then something goes wrong, like an amoeba is suddenly given the higher powers that a human has.
Akira is an amoeba then?
Amoebas don't build their own houses and bridges, do they? They just devour all the food they can find around them.
Is that what Tetsuo's doing? Are you saying he has that kind of energy?
Ah! See, I like when rhythm comes on because it's hard to do it wrong. Like, literally, you just lay down quarter note over the beat, and, like, I'll be bobbing to it without fail. Finally got a variation. Wow. Okay, I can't listen anymore. Yeah, variation. That's it. No, but it's rhythm. It's supposed to do the same thing for 3 minutes. It's rhythm. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Variation every 4 bars is a little much, though. I'll say that. Also, like, I think the post on the main bass could be a little cleaner. I don't know. I just don't like the clippy high-end stuff a lot of time. Okay, and I don't have audio anymore. My free trial's up, apparently. Okay, hello. Yeah, I still don't... Oh, wait. Okay, so how the fuck did I hit that? Okay. I don't know. I just want, like, if a bass is gonna repeat a lot, it better have, like, perfect fidelity out of it. Better be the most beautiful sound I've ever heard and the most beautiful phrase of all time to repeat as such. But yeah, drum sound design clean. I think variation is the main thing. And I'll leave it at that. I don't need to say everything every time. Okay, it did it again. What the fuck am I hitting to do that? Something I noticed just now is when you're bringing in the drums or having just some notable change, and it's not really on the root chord, it just sounds a little weird, or if it's not at the beginning of the bar, you know, and that's what just happened here. What the fucking cartoon sound? Who the fuck is in here? simply too dense. Like, in terms of arrangement, you know, every element doesn't have to be super complex. In terms of mixing, you know, make things, well, mixing and arrangement, you know, make sure things are sitting in different registers, not all in the same kind of pitch range. And in terms of mixing, you know, push main elements up front and more detailed background elements just to the back, you know. So we have a scene. It's like you take a picture, like, and you take it with a high quality ass camera, right? It's gonna have that lovely background blur and stuff, right? That's what we want out of our music, not just like flat Android quality, whatever the fuck. And there's just a lot of brightness. I notice a lot of guys do this for some reason. They just have white noise everywhere, which kind of has an effect for like a little tension and movement in life. But I think, like, you know what a white noise does. You know what purpose it fulfills. It just has this attack, you know, that kind of effect. And I think you can switch it out for something that does the same thing. You know what I mean? Just don't settle for the first thing you grab. That's loud. Yeah, so like, I think ideally I would like your melody to be up front. That seems to be like the most interesting element, you know? But there's just so much competing for it. And the melody itself, it could just be a little groovier. It's like, all that's really going on is, it's just kind of arpeggiating the chord in a very slow, like, half note fashion. You know, give it some more notes, you know, play along scales instead of just sticking so tight to the chords. And do some more syncopated, interesting rhythms than just bright ass hats. I already thought the layers were too much. Now we have like another piano-y sample coming in. Like, I understand looking for complexity, but if something is always complex and there's always a million things to focus on, you don't focus on any of them. You just focus on it being a mess, you know? You know, order is important. The fucked up think break. So I figured this out. I've been wondering this. We have to listen to the think break for a minute and a half before we can get in there. Okay. I could have skipped more. That's how repetitive it was, but it vibes. You know, it has the vibey sample. It has drums. It has nice bass line that follows the chords. You know, like, the question is, like, I mean, if you're just going for, like, straight liquid D&B, you know, I feel like the standard is very clear for that kind of stuff. Which means you want the mix down, you want the drums top notch. And snare too damn loud. Kick could be kicking a little more. And yeah, just definitely slow on the intro. You know, at least you can have little sound effects stuff. At the very least. And ideally, you'd want a little more element. You know, the piano is the main element. Maybe you split it up into more of an arrangement. You know, instead of just one piano loop, you have it explore all different types of stuff on the keys. Right? Or you have other instruments supporting it. You know, a counter melody. You have maybe the bass line play a bit more of a role. You have an instrument outlining a bit more of the harmony. You know, something a little more rhythmic, you know. And yeah, maybe like get some glide on the Reese and give it some filter stuff. And I kind of feel like it goes a little heavier, darker, but could push that a little more distorted maybe for that. I'm fascinated by this aesthetic. This is fire as fuck. Actually, though. They're using advanced methods, guys. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely goofy, but I feel like it comes off like intentional. It just has a aesthetic to it. Also, I just think that this is definitely some of the best I've heard from you. Like, you're not just like there's clear, distinct sections, and the whole arrangement isn't like washed over by something. You know, I can feel it going different places, and laying down phrases, and the phrases you lay down are pretty good. Like the little vocal chop sound is so goofy. This beat reminds me of like, hold up. It's like this type beat. What y'all know about this? What y'all know about Purple Place? I don't know why. You guys get it? Like, okay. I don't know why. It's probably just like the samplery sounds. Okay, one sec. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was weird in a good way, which is surprising for the stream. Usually I'm like, all right, it wants to be weird, but it's coming across kind of ass. But this did it. It was confident in its absurdity. And I'm fascinated by this track. It just, this fascinates me. Where would I push it though? I mean, just production value isn't quite there, but I think that'll come with time, and that kind of serves the aesthetic a little bit. I mean, like, if you're generating something like this, you might as well just like doodle something. I feel. Yeah, I liked it. Cool cover. We got that 8-bit sound. Heat. This is great. Like, mix is really clean, sound design is really clean. Building tension here, bass chunky. This looks like a track somebody with this profile picture would make. Snare could have a little clap layer, maybe. Which is kind of on brand though, you know what I mean? Damn, the bends, the vibrato. You say you don't know any sound design, and this is all distorted saw waves. Yeah, it's some of the best, cleanest of the night. I feel like it's a little too like full on. Like you have the drops, then you're just like, all right to the builds, and then you have a drop and you're like, right to the build, and the build it just feels very transient, you know. Like I need a little break, I need a little development. Yeah, this is great. Just be careful, like, going too ham on the arrangement, because it just makes some ideas feel like throwaway, you know? You don't want to just... It's like, if I'm telling you something, and I make, like, 5 points in a matter of 30 seconds, I'm like, alright, so make sure you sidechain your snare, and actually, when you're sound designing, don't distort it too much, and actually, in terms of volume levels, make sure, like, you're getting the foreground of the mix, and actually, you know, drink apple cider vinegar in the mornings. It's really good for your, and actually yoga daily. Okay, you see what I you see what I mean? Like, if I just throw like too many topics at you too quickly, it makes no sense, you know? Or it makes some sense, but you're just not able to appreciate or fully grasp one thing as much, you know? And I mean, I exaggerated it to absurdity, but there's just a little bit of that. And like first drop, second drop, you know, all the way to third drop, you know. Radiohead Creep remix, let's go. Like, I could understand it, but it's just like, could have resonated with me more, you know, just through creating a little more room placement for it. You know what I mean by like understand or whatever. Like, you want your words to carry weight. Yeah, you're right. Slight igloo ghost. Okay, so on this track, there's too much going on, I feel. You know, like mix wise, arrangement wise, just, you know, you want things front and center. You want main characters, you know, and you don't want things competing. I just think too much, too flat. Also, like, your comment wording is a fucking banger. Like, I'm about to steal that for twitter.com. Because I was like thinking the same thing. I'm like, damn, all these dudes with this mid-journey art. I see what they call it, mid-journey. Am I right? And it's not just that the arrangement's too dense, it's like too on all the time. Like, you kind of got into this break, but like I am not feeling rested at this point. Yeah, like you're taken to the break, but you're like, nope, I cannot possibly like take any risk that the listener lose attention. I must keep every clap going. I must keep every ear candy hitting at once.
And the joke of it all is your ego doesn't exist.
And it's not just like too many things going on in the mix. Like you can have all these things sit together and play at the same time. They're just all doing their own complex phrase. It's like, yeah. It's like people are trying to talk over each other versus just like one's quietly humming in the background, providing a nice pad for the other's speech. And I think the real key is like, just keep the rhythm and notes really solid, and you can get away with more, you know? Like look at Tipper, right? His thing, like, he has crazy tight rhythms, like, with his riffs, and, like, they hit funky notes, you know? And that's the ground for him to do a lot of sound design pushing and pulling on. But when, like, you're going so ham on the sound design and arrangement, when, like, just the rhythmic and like melodic harmonic basis isn't there, it's like you're building a house on sand, or like, no, that's so cliche, but you understand what I mean by that. You know, I think that can be said of like all of electronic, especially our subgenre, you know? Like it's just like you're trying to reach so high through all the sound design. Yeah, like you don't have any legs to stand on. It's like if you're building architecture, right? I think it's a lot more impressive to design like the Sistine Chapel. It's a lot more impressive to design like the Sistine Chapel, and like it's so beautiful and intricate, but it has to obey physical laws, and it has to work against gravity and stand up and be made of good materials, right? Versus like I just went in Blender and like imported a model and it just floats in space and has no realism to it. No, you get what I mean? You know?
You want some? It's tuna juice.
Tuna juice.
You want a taste?
I don't like this.
It's carbonated tuna juice.
Okay.
It's made for finches, but humans can drink it too. Finches.
Sub-bus. It's amazing how good sound design sounds when you don't like put 12 OTT and saturators on it.
That's delicious.
It's carbonated tuna juice.
Yeah, it was cool. I like the thing. Like it just felt. You just hit the second part of the drop, and it's like. I think when you do a variation, you want to kind of pay respect to the original like motif a little bit. When it's like here you came in with something completely new. Maybe that could have a little more preparation for it. You know, keep like a rhythm more consistent or something. And it's just so dry. Could have more percussion, could have background elements, could have these basses push louder.
Finches.
Could have the phrase not so just 1, 2, 3, 4, new sound, 1, 2, 3, 4, new sound, 1, 2, you know, just like bar. Even though it's flowing pretty well with it.
But humans can. You want a taste? It's carbonated tuna juice.
Yeah, there's kind of a harsh S in his voice too. And I just feel like there's not much to give the track an identity. You're just like, all right, quirky vocal sample, drop sounds. That's a little empty, you know? Just like pick something, give it a space, give it a theme, something. Okay, I guess we're here now. Okay. Good sound. This is literally like the Zizzy. Oh no, it's gonna drop. Ah! 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 The first Feedback Friday submitter with taste. This is crazy. I don't give a fuck about a drop. The Airwho is crazy. More of that, please. Yeah, that was nice. Like, if I came across this track, I would give it a hashtag like. And the other thing that I felt like it lost me a little towards here. I mean, it does have like the housey beat, but I feel like it's telling me about the same. It had a lot of preparation to kind of say the same thing to me. You know? I think maybe like a nice little melody can carry it. Can definitely add some more like passing chord stuff. Do. Like to just get it away from just the straight 4-1. And I want that Airwho to play more of a role. You have some little accents here or there, but that thing can sing. Yeah, freestyle on it. Could have a little more sub. Yeah, just immaculate, lush sound design. Yeah, like the vibes and like the sounds and the main progression is like all there. I think if you lean a little more into phrasing, like with melodies and a little rhythmic action, and push it even higher, you know, it's already slapping wonderfully. What the hell? A little tense. Doesn't sound on purpose though. And cymbally. And the kick is clippy. Buckets vibes secretly. I like that zappy, guys. Flow on that. Simplify, you know, like you have a pretty complex phrase going on, but you're also trying to flex the hats too, you know. I feel like sometimes you got to pick one or the other. Same with the kind of kick pattern. This is cleaner. Yeah, that's cool. Two things about me. I'm not a fan of cymbal crashes and clippy kicks. That's it. Also, I feel like the little break here just felt kind of like a little lazy, a little throwaway-ish. So why do you have 500 plays on a private track? How many people you've been sending this to? That's my question. There's just this kind of like dryness. You just have a lot of like spaces. I feel like reverb throws could be nice for those, or just phrase it differently. Snare low though. Just don't let breaks and stuff like be an afterthought, I feel. Helix Ascension. Oh, that's cool. I like that. We're like obsessed. We are just obsessed with like all this high-end white noise. Give it like an impact into the build. Just the arranger low when the build hits. Like pick something out to put out. Actually crazy as fuck. That was crazy and different as fuck. Surprisingly. For sure some roughness around the edges, but that was beautiful, this drop. I would say like there's just a lot of high-end hissy to watch out for in the mix and a little low on sub. And also just quite saw wavy, but it's kind of hitting it. This transition to the build felt like it could be a little more sauce. Yeah, and just not so much white noise, hissy, high-end stuff. It's quite loud in general, and I just don't think it's necessary. I'm not sure what it's doing for us. Like, if you're just going for ear candy stuff or like something to transition, I think there's more options for that. Just fade, filter, anything of anything. And look for more like distorted tones instead of just those fuzzy detune sounds. Sounds quality. Big bright, well strong.
I'ma turn it up and then I'm
Yucky. Yeah. Nasty as fuck. And I don't say this lightly, but what do the kids call it? This is some gas. Okay. No, like really like one of the most professional sounding, simultaneously professional sounding and just good tracks to come by. Like the build was super hype. You could really tell just by you could just hear it really shifts. Like it really feels like things are changing, you know, it gets super bright. I skipped the intro, but it sounded good. And just the post on the bass is perfect. Doesn't sound like super just clip to shit and like OTT phase bump. And has perfect amount of variations. Not the biggest fan of the snare, but it's also not bad. Like, you know you went too hard, so you, like, put a wheel up into your own track. You're like, no, you don't get the full, like, 32 bar drop. No, this one phrase to describe this track, it is wheel-upable.
Turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
Probably a bit more low end though. I'll give that to you. I don't know. It sounds meat though. And just watch like the yucky highs on the bricks. Yeah, that's crazy as fuck. Really good job. I mean it. Like I be so jaded from bass music, and this tracks like this make me like, oh, it's actually pretty good. Bass music can be pretty good, actually. Come on, come on. Love him or hate him. Warding spitting facts here. Another track that reminds me why bass music can actually be good. No, highlight. Major highlight, life highlight right here. It's just so... Like, I would give it a little more sauce on, like, intro snares. Like, just make it, like, a fuck-ass snare, you know? I feel like if there's a part you switch to, like, sub following after, like, the 808 sub, it'll be a... That could go crazy. I feel like lower pitch bends, you know, you know, just kind of like dynamic, like feel in places. You know, just kind of like give it those dimensions. It's so mean. Like, is that what I gotta say to get bass producers to use dynamics? I gotta like say like you're exploring new dimensions or some shit. You bet. It's been a minute. Fuck school. You're right. Gas all in a row. Nice little snare. Ah. Fuck on. Ah. The fuck is going on? Like, y'all are lining up heaters one after another. Literally. The past, like, 3 or whatever the fuck have been insane. I would say, like, definitely vary the harmonic on this big distorted bass. That would be it. That's it, to do that. Yeah, and I think a little louder, cleaner low end would be nice here. That pan is fucked up. Yeah, and I'm feeling the phrase here, but the phrase is a little lost here. Just keep him flowing. Don't get in his way. And switch that damn harmonic while you're at it. And kiss me on the mouth while you're at it too. Come over here. I'm gonna bite the skin off your lips, bae. I know you've been crusty lately. Oh my. What the hell? Another heater. I'll admit it, this one wasn't as clean, but it was aggressive. I just think mix too, it's pushed too hard. Damn, that's kind of terrifying. That's like real guttural scream type. The queue is infinitely long because I have close submissions. Next Friday though, 10:30 p.m. Okay, but too clippy, too aggressive. And it sounds like there's some like layers, like the sub is kind of creeping up in the same frequencies as like the screamy basses, and like the cymbals are too loud. Just too aggressive clipping. See, it's a sign of a master to like make something sound aggressive without clipping it to shit. Truly. No, it's kind of weird because we kind of just take like, oh, distorted and fucked up equal aggressive. So that's what I'll do. When I feel like it can go a lot deeper than that. You know, you can go deep into any like vibe of sound, you know, like I'm talking vibe design. Like you could just sit there and only make basses that are super aggressive, or like only make basses that are super deep or super weird. Or you can only make sounds that sound like birds for all I fucking care. Do whatever the... Get away from me. You get what I mean? I had a good example, but it's gone now. Yes, I'm certain of it. And also, like, as for these short little tracks, like, I swear, arranging isn't that hard. Like, if you just kind of commit to something. Like, I know it's not going to be perfect, and you're like, damn, like, this section isn't as good as the other bits. But just intro, drop, break, drop. Or it can literally just be intro, drop, for all I care. That's what a break is. And these progression sounds great. I'm done fucking talking. This is also lovely. I would like some sub though. Because the entire lower register is kind of untouched. Just love this progression. Like if buckets like use saw waves instead of sine waves and distortion. Yeah, it's gotten a little repetitive on me. It's so pleasant though, really nice mix. I mean it, like, don't overprocess your sounds. They sound a lot better out of the box most of the time. Usually it ends up sounding like this. Beautiful. It's nice. I just wish it would have went a little deeper, you know? Like, it kind of gave me progressive vibes, yet didn't... And it was, don't get me wrong, it was entertaining me. I was interested in it. But, it wasn't very progressive, you know? I feel like a little more filter opening, a little more layers creeping in and out, a little more kind of depth of things could be lovely. maybe like push a little more focus to like the IDM-y like drum breaks. And just explore that lower register more. That'll make it sound a lot fuller. Sub range. I think filters are key. We really want to make it sound like it's opening up. What the hell? This is the perfect song for this too. Goons. Alright, he knows. I shouldn't have told him. Stinkers tonight. Yucky. Why do I even have my camera on if I like I'm never in the shot? Now I am. It's got a cool like party vibe. It's like not heavy, but it's something you just want to throw the fuck down to, you know. More sub, maybe different kick. Comes off quite dry. I could just have a little more arrangement. And this almost feels like it's leading up to something, you know, but that doesn't necessarily reach that something. I love these weird trappy phrases. I don't know. I would just see what other elements you can put in. It just definitely sounds dry. Just the empty spaces, you know, give it a little more reverb throw or kind of compress that reverb throw. Or put more fill there. You know, I just don't leave it at silence until you've tried everything else, I feel. Okay, do I review these? Do I review these? Sure.
I'm getting faded in an undisclosed location. This ain't just a couple screws, loose straight jacks crazy. I don't give a fuck if I don't find my head. Fuck it, I gave every single fuck I had left. Yeah, watch you get so high, so I'm so high, so I'm so high, so I'm so high.
Oh, hi. I will chant it with you. You're right. This build up dry as fuck. At least like you can just chop up that sample to give it similar texture and build it through here. And for riser. Oh, this is nice. Watch how fast the LFO gets, because I feel like there's a point it gets so fast it starts to sound transient spiky, which I don't necessarily like. Give the hats a little velocity, a little sauce, a little swank. kick a little boof. Yeah, big kick and like that sub maybe being a little compressed. So it just had a little more loudness overall, and just big kick with it flowing. And maybe like the solution is, I don't know, if it gets too fast, maybe like just have a more sine wavy rounded LFO. And it won't get that spikiness. Bigger transition for this stuff too.
I don't give a fuck if I don't find my head. Fuck it, I gave every single fuck I had left. Yeah, watch you get so high, so early, so high, so early, so high, so early, so high, so early. Take your time, never hurry. You don't mind, I won't worry. You'll be fine. Say the word, say the word. Yeah, walk in the crib, my dick smell of sex, pussy, whiskey.
I would be careful with format shifting. I feel like if you turn the format too low, it just gets unintelligible. And just, you might want to like re-EQ it for that too. So it's not so MIDI. And here's the thing I hate. It's like when we have a melody or like a loop or something, and then the bass is doing the exact same thing. You know, I feel like the bass is better served to provide harmony for it. Counterpoint.
I know how crazy I get. Cash your check, bread and butter, take a number, place a bet. To the realest motherfuckers, ain't too many of us left. You can't tell me nothing, no discussion. Flow is so disgusting, throwing up a whole bunch of blood on an empty stomach. Got headaches and migraines, headaches and migraines. Every single morning, like my brain flipping sideways. Try to move my body, but my skeleton vibrates. Whose car is that and how to get in my driveway? This is high stakes, professional time waste.
I would like telegraph what you're doing here a little more. Riser, something. Or you can have a little like, whatever the fuck. Or a little like triplet snare thing. Just keeping that tension before it drops. I feel like there's only one section it really like goes in on. You know, and they can go in deeper and have more sections that I feel like stand their own a little more. You know, play with rhythms, play with different harmonies, you know, play with a counter melody, kind of mess with that original. It's just not my favorite reedy timbre as is. You know, and add more stuff to the arrangement, melodies, sound effects. Book version 8 from Kevolution. You got the crackly spits though. I appreciate you cooking. You're so real, so raw, and unfiltered. So live. Intro not really making sense. It's giving random samples. And then like some stuff is getting louder, like these chords, and it's kind of taking over the whole mix. Too pushed.
There goes a spider web.
I wasn't expecting this dubby vibe. It's nice. Very fun.
Just a plastic crab? No, this is Patrick.
I feel like Gone to White Night sound design a little slept on. Something about this bass doesn't sound as full, and this atmospheric sample sounds quite loud. It's kind of funny, you're almost using it as like a siren. A cricket siren. At this point, I'd say you'd have too much, drop too long, and you just have the same bam, 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 which makes it end up sounding kind of samey.
Just a plastic grab? No, this is Patrick.
Yeah, just the range structure starts to make a little less sense here. Like, in terms of sense, it was making, I could tell it's rising up, but it's just kind of everywhere. A lot of things competing for each other in the same register, the same frequencies, all complex. Just push something forward, keep the background simple. And then just don't sit on the drops too long. You know, go back out and then go back in. Give it the DJ mix out. Give the listener a refresher. You know, because if you're having it full throttle 100%, it doesn't feel very fast. You know, it's like you're driving on the highway, right? You're going like 80 miles per hour and you've just been doing that for the past 2 hours, right? Do the math. No. It's like that feels normal. It doesn't really feel fast to you. It just feels normal. But all of a sudden you're at a red light and floor it to 80. That's feeling fast as fuck. You get what I mean? It's relative. Crazy you said that. No, I'm just like so connected to the universe. I'm like projecting your situation. This is the sign you've been looking for. Your manifestations are working. Or whatever the fuck they say. That's a good way to fuck with people and like who's like experienced a psychotic break. Or to trigger that. If you're into okay. I gotta relax. No, that's kind of a vibe. You're just on a bus to Orlando with the feedback stream. I like bus vibes, just late as fuck at night. On the cushy bus, though. The cushy bus. Yes, bro, your ego is dying. It's really working. You're man. Okay. I gotta stop. It's been a good night. I'm glad I managed to keep this one at like 3 hours because, like, we start creeping to 4 hours and beyond, I start to hate my life a little bit. But that's strong words. At Bunting. Pinging will not help you. Alright. Flock flip tomorrow, so I'll see y'all for that. I found some crazy ass sounds. Here's my plot line to take over the world. So I get a pet bird, right? And I play just like a bunch of dubstep or like straight sound design, like fucking Little Snake or some shit, right? Or I just make sounds and just replay them forever. This little bird is going to be the dopest bird on the fucking planet. And it will just make the coolest sounds ever you've ever heard. You get what I mean? Just teaching a bird to imitate sound design. That would be crazy. That's my plot, okay? And I say that just because I was thinking of the flock flip, and I was like, oh, I found videos of birds doing cool ass shit to resample. All right. I got rambly, but yeah, I appreciate you all showing up, especially those sticking around to the end. If you do want to support me, buntingmusic.com is the place to do it. I do one-on-one lessons. That's where the premium feedback, and this is just the free trial for feedback, so visit my site. I'd appreciate it. Every link you need is in the description. Good fucking night. See you at the flock flip tomorrow.